In the quiet hum of a late-night diner, Rowan was just a single dad trying to make ends meet, sharing a plate of fries with his little girl, Luna. Life hadn't been easy since his wife passed away. Every day was a battle, a stack of bills on one side and his daughter's bright, innocent smile on the other. That smile was his fuel, the tiny spark that kept the darkness at bay. But tonight, the weight felt heavier than usual. The final notice for their apartment was tucked in his pocket, a cold reminder of their reality. Across the room, a woman sat alone, her face a mask of despair. Her name was Araven, and she was at her breaking point. She'd lost her job, her savings were gone, and she was miles from anyone who could help. She clutched a worn photograph of her own family, tears blurring their faces. She had just enough money for a cup of coffee, and after that, she didn't know. The road ahead felt like a dead end. She whispered a silent prayer into the steam rising from her cup, a desperate plea for a sign, for a glimmer of hope. Rowan watched her, seeing a reflection of his own struggles in her eyes. He knew that look. It was the look of someone who felt completely and utterly alone. Luna, with the pure intuition of a child, tugged on his sleeve. "Daddy, that lady looks sad," she whispered. Her words struck a chord deep within him. He looked at his own meager wallet. He had just enough to pay for their meal and maybe a little extra for gas. Giving anything away felt reckless, irresponsible even. But then he looked at Luna's concerned face, and he knew what he had to do. He couldn't fix his own problems, but maybe, just for a moment, he could ease someone else's. He walked over to Raven's table, his heart pounding a nervous rhythm. "Excuse me," he said softly. "I'm sorry to bother you, but my daughter and we noticed you seemed a little down. Is everything okay?" Araven looked up, startled. She expected judgment, or worse, pity. But in Rowan's eyes, she saw only genuine concern. The simple question, the act of being seen, was enough to break the dam. The tears she'd been holding back began to fall freely. Through her sobs, she told him everything. The job loss, the dwindling funds, the crushing weight of failure. Rowan listened without interruption, his expression never wavering from one of empathy. He didn't offer empty platitudes or easy solutions. He just listened. And in that simple act of listening, Raven felt a tiny seed of hope begin to sprout. She wasn't invisible. Her pain was real, and it was being acknowledged. When she finished, Rowan reached into his pocket. He pulled out the crumpled bills. He had almost everything he owned in the world. He placed them gently on the table next to her coffee cup. "It's not much," he said, his voice thick with emotion, "but I hope it helps you get to where you need to go. Please take it." Raven stared at the money, then back at Rowan, speechless. "I can't," she stammered. "You have your daughter to think of." Rowan just smiled, a genuine, warm smile that reached his eyes. "She's exactly why I'm doing this," he replied, glancing back at Luna, who gave a small wave. "I want her to grow up in a world where people help each other. Sometimes all we have is a little bit of hope to give, and tonight, I'm giving mine to you." For the first time in weeks, Raven felt a real, tangible sense of hope flood her system. It was more than just the money. It was the kindness, the selflessness of a stranger who had his own burdens to carry. His act of compassion was the sign she had prayed for. She took the money, her hand trembling. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice choked with gratitude. "You have no idea what this means to me. I promise, I will pay this forward." As Rowan and Luna left the diner, the night air felt a little less cold. He was terrified, of course. He had no idea how he would pay the rent now. But a strange sense of peace settled over him. He had done the right thing. He had chosen kindness over fear. He held Luna's hand a little tighter, and in her sleepy smile he found his own renewed hope. They would figure it out together. A week later, Rowan was packing their belongings into cardboard boxes. The eviction notice had become a reality. He tried to stay strong for Luna, but his heart was breaking. He felt like he had failed her. Just as he was taping up the last box, there was a knock on the door. He opened it to find a well-dressed woman standing there. It took him a moment to recognize her. It was Araven, the woman from the diner. But she was transformed. The despair was gone, replaced by a confident, radiant smile. "I told you I'd find you," she said warmly. "It took some doing, but the waitress at the diner remembered you." She explained that the money he gave her was enough to get her a bus ticket to her sister city. Once there, she landed an interview for a management position at a large corporation, a job she was more than qualified for. And she got it. "My new company is expanding," Araven continued, her eyes sparkling. "And they're looking for dedicated, hard-working people. When they asked me for recommendations, I told them about a man I met. A man who showed me the true meaning of generosity when he had almost nothing himself." She handed him a business card and an envelope. "There's a job waiting for you, Rowan. A good one, with a salary that will take care of you and your daughter. And this," she gestured to the envelope, "is a signing bonus. Consider it a down payment on a new life." and the first installment of me paying your kindness forward." Rowan opened the envelope. Inside was a check for an amount that made his head spin. It was enough to stop the eviction, to pay off his debts, and to give him and Luna a fresh start. Tears streamed down his face, tears not of sorrow, but of overwhelming joy and relief. He looked from the check to Araven, unable to speak. Araven simply smiled. "Hope is a powerful thing, isn't it? You gave it to me when I had none left. Now, it's my turn to give it back to you." That day, everything changed. Rowan took the job, and his life, once a constant struggle, became one of stability and security. He and Luna moved into a new apartment, and for the first time in a long time, their future looked bright. He and Araven became lifelong friends, their families forever linked by a single act of kindness in a late-night diner. Rowan never forgot the lesson he learned that night. He taught Luna that hope isn't just something you feel, it's something you create. It's a choice you make, even when it's hard. It's a light you share, knowing that its glow can return to you in the most unexpected ways, brighter than you could ever imagine. A single spark of compassion can indeed ignite a wildfire of hope, changing lives forever.